For any XRP holder out there, these are the best 30 seconds I guarantee you'll hear today.
And she ruled on this XRP is not a security in a very interesting way. She quoted other cases which say kind of the same thing. And so it's called what's called dicta because it's not an essential part of her order, but it is in there. I don't think you can appeal that. I don't think that's appealable. I really don't. I don't think that any appellate court can touch that part of the order which says XRP in and of itself is not a security, which is really what's important for the XRP holders.
Does that put a smile on my face? Just a little bit more certainty that XRP ain't going nowhere because the judge went out of her way to put in there a couple other cases as well to make sure the SEC can't do nothing against her. And I think that's honestly because she's also a little bit tired of the SEC's shenanigans. However, today I'm not here to discuss that. Today I'm here to discuss about something I think a little bit more important, a little bit more crucial. But before we do that, if you enjoyed that little clip, make sure you press that like button for me and of course for Jeremy Hogan for, giving us some nice information right there. No, because what we have to discuss is something rather important, something quite confusing. And now, I mean confusing to the levels of Jim Cramer, where on one side, Jim Cramer has just said he doesn't see a recession on the horizon. He says things are looking good. But then he's also saying, hey, be careful. We are finally overbought, meaning things are going to be coming down. And perhaps the reason he's doing that is because we've got the inverse Cramer, which is we always try to do the exact opposite of what he says, and now he's saying both sides. So now you don't know what to do. And no, I'm not talking about the regulatory front either right now. I mean, even though it's confusing and right now congressmen, etc., are stepping up to slap down the SEC, I'm today talking about XRP and Ripple utility, specifically Fednow. And let me address this by stating one thing first. I am most likely one of the most bullish people on XRP you'll find on this planet. I've got a good chunk of XRP, so I might be biased, but I have this XRP because I expect it to do well. I expect it to change the financial system. I expect a ton of people to use it. I expect the volume to be insane, and I expect the utility from almost any field to be out of this world. But again, one of the points I just mentioned is that I think it will change the financial system. And also partially from Ripple's perspective with what they're doing with CBDC and how they're operating with partners of Fednow and how they're operating with official countries now as partners in different countries they're working on those CBDCs. It gets you always excited and hyped up for what's about to come. But one thing I keep seeing is people saying Fednow is going to be the game changer. And I honestly believe that yesterday, the price of XRP went up, and today potentially also, because of this Fednow enthusiasm. But it brings up a good question. Should we get crazy excited over something like this? Once more, as a basis, I'll say yes, from the perspective that Ripple, through some way, shape, or form, is involved. This could mean they're going to try to push something for XRP, or other companies looking at this, knowing that Ripple is involved, might earlier now adopt XRP on the basis that Ripple is involved with these companies and countries and ideas, philosophies, whatever. It's the same fashion as, let's just say we talk about the Hong Kong Central Bank, right? They're working on CBDCs. If Ripple is working with them, then other countries like whatever, Denmark is going to be like, hey, we want to go for CBDCs. We know Ripple's doing well. Let's get that going. And then potentially a bank in Denmark or a bank in Hong Kong now where they already were working with Ripple might be thinking, you know what? Ripple is really working on this. And they've got a solution that utilizes XRP as well. So they must love XRP a lot. Potentially, we can use XRP to save costs somewhere as well. So I'm thinking mostly on the basis of association that anything connected to this is just très bien. But before I dive in further, I want to quickly say, guys, make sure you check out two links down below, either for BitGet or for Bybit. Both have their own perks. Bybit, you can get yourself an 1125 USDT position to trade XRP with for absolutely free on the house. But you got to KYC, you got to sign up and go through everything because Bybit is such an exchange. So the nice part is you get money for absolutely free, a trade worth $1,100, which is huge. My XRP trade over on Bybit at the time of recording is in about, you can't see it at all, but about 118% profit right now. But for some that don't like to KYC, they just like to use a VPN and start trading, nobody knows who you are. I believe on BitGet that's also completely fine. They got a cool spin wheel here where you can basically earn a couple cool prices for going through some simple steps. Whatever step you go for, you get a spin ticket, I guess. You get upwards of $100,000 in this prize pool, which is pretty nice. Too many XRP holders are focused on Fednow as a price driver of XRP. But this is simply not the case. Fednow is a key that unlocks a door of opportunity. I, by the way, have not read this, but I will gladly take it into consideration. Because I saw hashtag Fednow, I saw it had tons of views, and people are talking about it, so let's talk about it too. Fednow is a key that unlocks doors of opportunity for the next generation of financial payment technology to be realized in. The infrastructure is being upgraded to accommodate for this disruptive technology. Fednow is significant not because it will pump XRP, but because it allows for Ripple solutions utilizing the power of XRP to be implemented into the financial system. Stop thinking in terms of price. Think in terms of innovation, adoption, and change. And that's as a response to Chad, who said, the first new payment rail in 40 years, service providers, banks will not be directly transacting. The service provider performs the transfer. This is the new revolutionary payment scheme for the US, RippleNet, Volante, Finastra. And without needing you guys to watch this 2-minute video, the point here is that they're looking at all this as a new payment rail for the first time in 40 years, that they're upgrading their systems, doing something new, and that might also allow for Ripple and the partners and whatnot to also come in hot into the industry and mess up the game a little bit. You know, put their freaking foot in the door because now the floodgates have been opened by this. There are people who said, well, but in theory, that should drive the price over time, just not immediately. And to that, I'll say it all depends on your perspective of what drives price. At the end of the day, utility, from my perspective, drives price because of anticipation and because of logical demand because of more utility, right? In a similar fashion, gold, from a certain perspective, has utility and has a slight increase in value because of it. I know it's a store of value because it's a limited amount, but if it was really completely useless in anything, I think it'd be worth a little bit less. But that's up for debate. Don't quote me on that or don't try to disprove me because I can understand a lot of you guys' theories. I'm just doing my own thinking right there. And the way I'd like to put this one is, I do believe that in these financial systems that we've got, we base a lot of our pricing models. A lot of the price derives from the utility that is brought upon it. Even though in theory, more volume on a system or within XRP, for example, if XRP is transacted 70 billion times a second, well, in theory, it does not have to increase the XRP price per se, because obviously, if there's a buy, there's a sell on the opposite side, meaning the price doesn't really change. However, because of this new utility, people might actually start speculating and the price actually goes higher because now it's basically worth more. It's more important, something that people want to have, akin to a Bitcoin, to a gold, whatever. And we've been seeing signs of that now that the Ripple lawsuit was out of the way. You can see XRP's volume just start to peak up. And in this case here, it is correlated with the price as well. But I'd say that this time it's the opposite way, meaning there was an increase in price because of people, speculating on utility. And of course, we've got the clarity, which also did increase the volume. And this could actually set through as well, meaning at the end of the day, the more volume potentially is because of the higher price. But obviously, it could also be the opposite way, where if XRP dominates every industry, everything, it's used by everybody everywhere, well, logically, I think we'd value it higher too. You can see over on the right that hashtag Fednow is trending, or just Fednow, because everybody started talking about it. And today, it's the day for it, right? As of 3 a.m. EST, the Fednow transaction network is live, paving the way for real-time CBDC payments. As of July 20th, 41 banks, 15 service providers are certified to use the settlement service, including community banks and large lenders like JP Morgan Chase. The exact time zone, who cares about the exact time of this? But yeah, we're finally at that phase. We're finally there. And now people are throwing up all these other different dates that this or that is going to be happening for Fednow, which obviously has been delayed for a little while. But trust me when I say that the majority of people spreading these things are doing this with the wrong intentions. And at the end of the day, I cannot tell you whether or not I like a CBDC because it has such two sides. Like, from a certain perspective, I am not more against CBDCs than anything. Like, I'm completely against CBDCs because they're so stupid for our privacy. But on the opposite side, from a business perspective, I'm thinking, man, it's such a smart idea from them. And for these financial businesses, might be huge. And so for my pockets, might actually be good. But we've got this like Orwellian type of structure here where eventually you're going to be paying with your eyes, and ain't no escaping from the tax, man. Ain't no escaping from nobody, because they'll be like, oh, you did something? And they scan your freaking eyes or something. Like, yeah, it was you, But on the opposite side, if you got nothing to hide, that's what they'll tell you. But I still don't like it, though. Anyway, from my own analysis and perspective, I think things are doing pretty well in terms of pricing. Most likely because of everything with regards to Fednow. People getting excited, people speculating because of this change in the financial system and the fact that things are now opening up for newer technologies for the first time in 40 years, leaving, Ripple, Stellar, and all these guys to potentially disrupt. Which is why I think a lot of these coins that are literally there to change up and wreck the entire financial system were doing so well today, like XLM, like XDC, like HBAR, like XRP. And it's also going to be interesting to see the battle between these newer cryptocurrencies that are trying to change the game, like Stellar with all their positive announcements over the last couple of days. Can you imagine one day buying a Costa coffee using stablecoins? Yeah, I can. I do that all the time through these crypto cards. We talk with this person about the future of stablecoins and the lack of interoperability and fungibility. And Digital Assets Daily said USDC in Stellar is cheaper, faster, and more efficient, but soon you will get that coffee from Costa with digital assets. Fednow goes live with 57 institutions, and JP Morgan is one of those banks. So again, this whole digital asset revolution is really there and it's really starting. It's only a matter of which parties would choose what and how cryptocurrencies, crypto digital assets play a role in all that. But we know now there's no going back to all this. The connections are set as well. And so it's a matter of time before we see exactly how things change. But the floodgates have opened and I'm enjoying every freaking second of it. So yeah, let me know down below whether or not you think that Fednow is bullish for XRP, yes or no. Just let me know. Yeah, I think it's exciting, or no, I think it won't do anything. I just like to read and see what you guys are thinking. At the end of the day, guys, we're a community, meaning if you have something very smart to say, please put it down below. I read everything, and then hopefully I get, to learn something today. Or if you agree, let others know, so at least, we get a good consensus of what the people are thinking. Do you think this is going to destroy the world, do nothing, whatever? Let us know in the comment section down below. And of course, put the notification bell on so you never miss out on another update. Because what if something crazy happens and you were notified? That's the worst thing could ever happen. I always tell you this. Don't mess up the notification bell. Like with the Ripple settlement, we were there a couple minutes after the lawsuit concluded. If you had your notifications on, you would have been clapping to yourself, laughing at freaking money. If you were too late, unfortunate. So make sure you've got that bell on. And that's about it.